So, oh, you're doing this because for Charlie's sake? You're a damn liar. Y'all need to get Charlie's name out of your fucking mouth unless you're going to tell the truth with it. Okay? So, long story short, I can't take this shit anymore. So, from now on, if I feel a certain way, I think I'm just going to make a video about it. So today we will be watching the posers on Charlie Kirk's show that are grifting off of his name, the true grifters, since he was assassinated in front of the whole world and they started covering it up, you know? So let's watch.
Blake, how you doing?
I was better a few minutes ago, Andrew.
And we will get into that in just a second. So moments ago, a new report from journalist Michael Schellenberger dropped. As you know, yesterday we covered the backstory, but what really happened with the screen grabs, the notorious screen grabs now, and I revealed to this audience that I did in fact share that screen grab with Joe Kent, and Joe suggested that I leak that publicly. I declined. I went back through our messages, and he suggested I do so twice.
First, let's just note that it's odd that he didn't want to let that out. Well, we know why he didn't, but I mean, to me, that's telling. But anyway.
I declined. Obviously, those were private messages. I wanted to keep them private for Charlie's sake. I thought that was honoring my friend. Anyway, so this new report.
For Charlie's sake? So, okay, let me get this straight. Okay, so let's understand this or try. So, for Charlie's sake, he thought he would keep the most important messages he would ever send to him. Ever. Like, really think about this. I'm so tired of this bullshit. Like, they're, like, playing this game and, like, everybody's getting so caught up in the, ooh, Joe Kent leaked it. Who gives a flying fuck? Not me. I don't give a shit. What did the messages say, and why aren't we doing anything about it? We know what the messages say, but that's the point. So, the most important message that Charlie ever sent to him. Why do you think Charlie would send him that? Like, really? What would be the point? So that something's done about it because he was worried about it. What the hell is he even talking about? Charlie sent those because he was worried and wanted something to be done about it. So, oh, you're doing this because for Charlie's sake? You're a damn liar. Y'all need to get Charlie's name out of your fucking mouth unless you're going to tell the truth with it. Okay? And are these men really married? There's no way. Because there's just no way. Because this is, like, they lie. I mean, I would say naturally, but it's not because it's so obvious and they're terrible at it. But they can just do it without even thinking twice about it. And which actually they are, because just about every time they do it, they stumble on their words. But you know what I'm getting at. Like, I'm a terrible liar. Terrible. I can't. I know a lot of people can. But anyways. Just had to point out that Charlie sent him that message for that very reason. Think about if your friend did that. If this was your best friend and this happened, what would you be saying about the message? And would you be okay with saying it just like that? Like if you're like, oh, for Charlie's sake. What the hell are you talking about for Charlie's sake? He's dead. Know what I mean, Vern?
Comes out from Schellenberger, and it says, as you see on your screen, that Joe Kent says he's willing to testify at the trial of Tyler Robinson. So this is obviously a huge bombshell and escalates everything to a much bigger level. I have reached out to Michael Schellenberger, and he has agreed to come on the show today. He interviewed Joe Kent for this report. So these are Joe Kent's own words. Michael Schellenberger will be joining us at 1:30 Eastern, so set your clocks and please tune in then. It's going to be an important conversation. And
He's
Blake,
a liar too.
Let's just take this out a step and explain why this is actually a really important thing. As you know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that we do not indulge, that we do not discuss. This is different. Joe Kent was a government official at a very important post, and now he's saying he's willing to testify ostensibly on behalf of Tyler Robinson.
Yes.
This is a bigger deal. This is a line cross that we have not seen.
Yes. Let's just recite it, where he says, Kent, this is Schellenberger's reporting on Substack. Kent said he knew he might be called as a witness before he made his statements that a, quote, foreign nexus may have been involved in Kirk's assassination. I was definitely warned of that over and over again, said Kent. If I end up having to play that role, then I'll do it. It's not something I'm seeking. When pressed that his testimony could help the Robinson defense.
Y'all, why is he talking like that? Y'all see how he's doing his eyebrows and stuff? It's like, Like, I just can't. These little bitch boys are a joke. They are a fucking joke. And I'm sorry, I know all the F-bombs, but this is a damn good reason. Let's go on.
Kent said, then honestly, so be it. If it gets us to the truth, that's obviously the risk I'm taking. Neither Robinson's attorneys nor the prosecuting attorneys responded to a request for comment. And then I'm not sure if there's more. I might have to pay for Schellenberger's subscription.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm sure it does go further. And we're going to, like I said, be talking to Michael Schellenberger in the second half of next hour at 1:30 Eastern. And I can't wait to hear what he has to say. This to me is Galaxy Brain run amok. And let me explain why I say that. Jonathan Turley, who is I guess he's a contributor to Fox News, legal contributor. He's a professor of law at George Washington University, said that 90% of the evidence accumulated against Tyler Robinson could be thrown out. So the defense could be successful in throwing out 90% of the evidence, and he would still be found guilty of murder.
Let's refresh people.
I would love to know.
There is a murder weapon that was found near the site of the shooting. It was owned by Tyler Robinson's family.
Given to him by his grandpa.
Of the caliber used to shoot Charlie. It has his DNA all over it.
All over the casing.
Okay, this is what's insane. Every bit of this is a lie, and everybody knows it. He was not shot with a 30-06. Period. Point blank. At all. He was not. That's a lie. The gun we saw in the picture was not the gun. They pretend like they saw the gun. It was Grandpa's gun. Do you have Grandpa's gun? That gun was not the real murder weapon. And whatever so-called gun they got, if they do, that's not the murder weapon. He was not shot with a 30-06. So the rest of this is bullshit. Everything else, you can go on and cut it out. You know that the key evidence that they have, the DNA, is the gun. A bullet that cannot be matched to the gun. They've already said that. We know that that's in, the court documents and everything, that it's inconclusive. So they can't prove the bullet went to the gun, which we know it's not that gun anyway, and we know why it's inconclusive. But their key evidence that they have, that they've put out there, so I can't wait to see what else they have. And why they would hide it, it would keep everybody off their back. But their key evidence is literally, DNA is the rifle. Well, if we're going to pretend like he did it, the rifle, the bullet cannot be connected to that rifle because that bullet is inconclusive, you see. Okay, so rifle's out. The other two pieces of DNA evidence, the towel that wrapped around that rifle, and the screwdriver that he put the gun, together, took apart, all this bullshit that we know didn't happen. That's their DNA evidence. That's what they have out there. That is what's on the document. It's put out for us to see. Now, if we want to go into the rest of the evidence, we've already named 3. The rifle, screwdriver, the towel. Well, that's all a lie. They got communications and confessions. Well, we know the confession did not happen. We've heard from his family. The text that was with Lance, well, we all know that's not true. And then there's this note that his love wrote, but it's destroyed. But they have that evidence somehow. And I want to know how that is. What do you mean it's destroyed, but you have the evidence? So what, you took a picture, but then how was it together still if it wasn't destroyed? So that's another lie. And the Discord came out and said that that was not set on. So let's see, we're at what, like 6 pieces of evidence. That's what they have. If you look it up, this is their evidence. And then what was it, the engraved ammo that we don't believe at all, and they tried to use that a couple times. They realized it looked dumb. And let's see where I'm at. 7 would be the rifle. The ammo is physical and forensic. I don't know how that's rifle would be. So technically it's only 9 pieces. And then the trace evidence, the prints on the roof and the gravel, literally listed on there. Anyway, but let's keep going, even though this is all bullshit.
They release a photo of the shooter. They are not able to find him otherwise. Tyler Robinson's parents see that photo and think, that looks like Tyler. They begin asking him things like, where is your, I believe it was his grandfather's gun. Mm-hmm. They start asking him this. Tyler Robinson starts talking like he might kill himself. They get a friend of the family to sit down with him. He admits that it's him. They get him to drive up to Orem and turn himself in. His parents helped him turn him in. And we run into people who say that that didn't happen or that's fabricated.
There's digital confessions.
There's digital confessions, but also his parents are out there. They have never stepped forward and said this is a lie. They could easily do that. It would be trivial to do that if it was the case. They have not done that. Mm-hmm. His parents turned...
You know what I find real funny about this part, y'all? You know who else's parents hadn't came out and spoke? Charlie's. And if you really think about that, that's very telling, because if you want to say, oh, it's the case or whatever, well, that's bullshit, because we've heard from everybody else about it. Well, most people. Not the things we want to hear, of course, but especially from ones, like, look who's literally talking right now. We all know about Blake Neff Speed. Sorry. But he was there, and look at him talking. So we know that that's not it. Charlie's parents and sister, which, by the way, if you go back at his, what was the medal ceremony, and there's that little clip, and in that red suit is Charlie's sister, and there's one moment where she steps out, and I swear she's giving Erica the evil eye, and she knows that a camera's right there. I'm telling you, that's what that was about. But really, okay, so we know that that's not why Charlie's parents haven't came out. Well, think about it. If they were even just the slightest bit on Erica's side or felt bad for her, the very slightest bit. This is the mother of her grandchildren, or their grandchildren, or mother of their niece and nephew. And if they a little bit supported her, they would come out and say something. There's nothing, and there's only one reason why, and we all know it. And stop bullshitting around it. We all know. Anyway.
Turned him in. That is the most obvious piece of evidence in the world that nothing can argue around. And some people are so obsessed with the same conspiracies that they concoct for every other thing that ever happens. And so they have to shove it into this one too, because they care more about their conspiracy theories than about the person who murdered my friend facing justice. I am fed up with it.
Yeah, and you should be.
All I want to do is laugh at him. He is such a joke. First of all, he was not your friend. And everything you said was a lie. Everything you said was a lie. Y'all are just mad because nobody's buying your bullshit. Be a man, Blake.
And this is... I mean, this is a tough job for us today, to be honest, because this is really personal. I have been open to everything. I think candidly, I don't get enough credit for even the fact that I shared these group chats in the first place. We shared a lot of information about trans, about Charlie, how Charlie was more concerned about than any other community about the trans coming after him. You want to know the truth? That's actually the truth. I heard over the course of the last 2 years of Charlie's life, probably about 50 references of how he knew the trans Tifa was going to come after him. He was worried about that.
Lies.
That's
Nobody's buying this bullshit. I hope. Like, do they hear themselves? Like, do they go back and watch how dumb they look? I'm curious. Everything Andrew's saying, he's full of shit. Everything he's saying, every single thing he's saying, he's full of shit and he knows it. And I hope Candace calls him out on the bullshit. And I hope they've got all kind of shit to throw out there later. I'm tired of hearing these motherfuckers lying their asses off. You were not Charlie's friend. None of y'all were Charlie's friend. None. Y'all don't know that. You don't know the definition of a friend. Clearly. I'm sorry. This is harder than I thought it would be. Without just like losing my shit like I normally do sitting here with my husband. So let's move on. Okay.
One time about the Jews. Okay? Never once. And here's why it's so frustrating is because there is going to be even more evidence that is presented to the public in May at the evidentiary hearing, okay?
Okay.
And it's a mountain of evidence.
I can't wait to see this mountain.
Some of which has been made public, some of which has not been made public yet.
Mountain.
And the prosecution is going to lay out its case against Tyler Robinson. And I'm told it's a whopper. I'm told they've got this guy dead to rights.
I hope so.
And meanwhile, you have government officials that are now saying on the record to journalists they are willing to testify on behalf of the defense to get, ostensibly, to get Tyler Robinson off the hook for something that...
If Tyler Robinson was really guilty and they knew it and they had all this evidence, this mountain of evidence, why are they so worried? And by the way, I'm so tired of this shit being thrown out. Oh, it's going to mess up the case. If it messes up the case, that means you don't have one. Got that? That's what that means, you stupid fucking idiots.
That he did. And so the level of betrayal that I currently feel is dramatic and extreme. The level of just frustration, the idiocy that is on full display, we have to call it out, because if this ends up screwing up the jury pool, if this ends up in some ways getting a hung jury, getting this case thrown out, or even just getting the death penalty off the case, off the
That's the way the
potential list of consequences here, I'm not going to be happy with that. I'm telling you that as somebody who was open to all different options, I didn't care where the truth led. This is where the truth led. This is it. And for any fair-minded person, this is crackpot conspiracy garbage brain rot stuff. And now it's gotten really serious. This isn't podcaster junk. This isn't like social media conspiracy nonsense. This is an actual government official who's now going to be called to testify on behalf of the defense. And that is a bridge too far. That is a line in the sand that we must hold, because this could negatively impact the trial of the assassin of my friend, of Blake's friend.
Okay, I'm done. I can't.
So that's the breaking news. I don't want to dwell on it for the whole...
Y'all, I can't with him. Like, if this jeopardizes the case in any way, that means they don't have a case. Does he not know that this is the way that our system works? I mean, if it's a hung jury, it's because they can't prove it, and they obviously can't convince them. So what do you mean? That's how it works. Like, does he not know that? Does somebody need to let him know that that's how it works? I think so. But anyway, I'm sorry. That's all I could take of it. I can't take any more. So maybe I'll come back with part 2. Just right now, I'll just try to leave it at that. This is bullshit. Everything they're saying is a fucking lie. So in a nutshell, the world's screwed. You can get assassinated in front of everybody, and the whole world can figure it out and have the proof, and nothing can happen. It's possible. I know, as a child, I grew up thinking the whole world was this beautiful playground, and that the future was going to be way better than what we thought, and turns out it's not true. So basically, in America, it doesn't matter. You can be assassinated in front of the whole world, and then the whole world can find all the proof, pull all together, and nothing can be done about it. So that's America, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I will come back with part 2 when Michael, the lion burger, gets on there. Okay? So thanks for watching. If you watched, I'll be back with part 2 soon.